What is up there, workforce? Chris here with Work To Game, and if you see right now, my classes are changed. I just changed them so fast, verifying this was working, that it's literally still popping up the prompt in the middle of the screen, and that is what I'm here to show you today. How you can set up an easy way to change your classes that a friend just showed me, and it works so well. I don't know why I didn't do something like this sooner. Now, one of the issues with changing classes is that in this game is I can decide something like I want to finally get around to leveling my melee DPS. So I click on my melee DPS, you can see I'm a nice low-level pugilist here in whatever gear this is, and I queue and I wait for the dungeon because I want to just do my leveling roulette, and it's like 30 minutes. Well, maybe during that 30 minutes or whatever, I want to go mine. Well, I can click on miner. And then if I need to switch back, Pugilist is right here. Now, how does this work? This basically works as a series of wheels. And then I'll show you how to set it up because I left one intentionally not set up. So this is super easy. So if we look at our tanks, for example, because it's a very small wheel, if we click on Paladin, this button changes to Warrior. If we click on Warrior, this button changes to Dark Knight, and then it goes back around, okay? All of these, the rest of the buttons stay fixed. Now you'll notice that they all default to Miner. So if I want to get to Botanist from my Paladin, I click on Miner, and then I click on Botanist, okay? And then this goes back to being Paladin. So if I decide to go back to Warrior, I just have to click the tank button twice. And then I have my healers separated as my 3 healers, and then I have my melee DPS, my physical ranged, and my magical ranged, and I kept limited jobs separate because I really I queue with them differently, I play with them differently, and so right now Blue Mage is on its own little rotation instead of being up with the casters. And then when we go to add Gunbreaker, Gunbreaker will get added to the tanks, Dancer, will get added right here to the physical ranged. And so this really comes in handy when you're doing things like switching crafts. I can quickly go to Carpenter, Blacksmith, Armorer, Goldsmith, Leatherworker, Weaver, Alchemist, Culinarian, and now it is back around. We've completed the loop. So to help visualize that, let's just open this up. So I chose to put them in the order that they are on this screen. I did the same with my Disciples of War. And Disciples of Magic. So I literally just started in order here. And so if I go to my gear set list, I actually organize these. And the easiest way to organize them is to right click and reassign set number and just work your way down the list. If we add a new one, I can always just go in and just like move things individually, like move up. Leatherworker will move up or move down. I can also, just set this. So if I move this down, and it's too far down, I could just set it and it will swap with those. So I choose to leave this kind of in the appropriate order so that it's easier to set up at the beginning and it's easier to see what is what. So that's just my preference, and so I'd recommend doing that first. Now the next thing we do is you got to decide how you want this bar to be set up, and you have to make sure that this bar is ready to be set up correctly. So go to Character Configuration and open up your hotbar settings. Go to sharing and make sure that you are not sharing whatever hotbar you're using, because each of these is actually a unique hotbar. If I shared this hotbar, they would all be identical. That's how I used to do this when I just had favorite classes. But now that I'm starting to dive into all those classes I've ignored for the many years that I've been playing this game, I'm finding that I have more classes I want to jump to than this button, and I don't want to give up places on my actual action bars. So take off shared hotbar, and this is going to take a while to set up. So start with just what you want your layout to be. I wanted tank, healer, and then the 3 types of DPS. Then I wanted my hand, my land, and limited job. So that leaves room out here in case they ever add some other weird type of class to the game. Or I could put something there. But if I wanted to put, like, say, a potion there or like mold tea, I would have to drag it onto every single one of my 28 hotbars. And to show an example of that, let me open up my inventory, and let's say we want to grab this ripe step fruit and put it here. Now, I'm on Culinarian right now. If I go to Paladin, that's not there. The only way to get back to that exact hotbar is to click through all of these. And so if you wanted to add an individual item there, I was on Culinarian, right? Ah, there it is. So that is how that is set up in a nutshell. And so that allows me to quickly switch and jump through a wheel. And I think this might be the most inventive way that I've seen to quickly jump. I assume you can kind of macro these things since they're all numbered, but this just seems to be something that is infinitely scalable. When Gunbreaker adds, say it adds after Dark Knight, all I have to do is when I go to my Dark Knight, instead of taking it back to Paladin, put the Gunbreaker button here, and then when I click to Gunbreaker, put the Paladin button here, and it will just rotate back around. So to close this up, I'm going to show you exactly how you set up a new class. So you understand the concept, how exactly do you do this? So I click to this class and you'll see several of the buttons are missing. So I go to gear set list and we know that we want the top left button to be Paladin. So we just click and drag, and then White Mage, we click and drag, and then Pugilist, we click and drag, and Archer, so you kind of have to have this memorized, click and drag, and Black Mage, we click and drag. Now, all this could also be done with controller, and you would just know that maybe like right trigger to triangle is switches me to tanks, and then once it switches to tanks, it always starts with Paladin, 2 clicks is Warrior, 3 clicks is Dark Knight from anywhere else. So if I'm on a White Mage, I can get to Dark Knight within 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. That's it, and I can get there pretty quickly. It's super fast. Now you'll notice that all my tanks look like blue pigs, and that's appropriate. But you would also see, like, if I click real fast here, then you can see I already made it back around. I'm on my Astro. And so it really is that fast. So if you have any questions, if that wasn't clear, let me know in the comments below. I'll try to put it down in writing and see if that comes across a little clearer. I just think that this is a great UI trick that really helps consolidate this hotbar. And now this is something that I get to leave here and know that within these 8 buttons, I can get to any class really quick. The slowest class to get to are the bottom hand ones, because that wheel is the biggest, because that wheel starts here, goes all the way down to here, and then back around. But crafting is never something that you have to get to super quickly. You can always jump back into your gear set list like I'd been doing up until now for that, and then going down and manually clicking, oh, I want to be on my leatherworker. That's 100% fine. What this is really good for is when you are on that class, however far this is, when you are on, let's say I'm on my culinarian and I've queued for something and that queue pops up and I'm like, oh no, I need to be on Machinist. Well, Machinist is just 2 clicks of the physical DPS. Or I need to be on Red Mage. That's just 2 clicks of the magical. Or I need to be on my Warrior, which is my main. 2 clicks here, I'm on my Warrior, all set. The little error thing here won't quite keep up, so it takes it a second to realize what just happened. So ignore that and just know that you are on your Warrior. You can see it down on your experience bar. I'm on my Warrior, ready to go. I can click accept. So my name is Chris with Work To Game. I hope you're just as excited about this as I am. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to check out any other videos, you should click over here. And then we've got like some kind of vlog thing down here in the corner. And then we've got like subscribe. Yeah, like that's really, you should totally do it. This was a complete disaster.